Hi everyone. So this weekend I spent some time grading calculate grade programming practice assignments, okay? So that programming practice assignment is the first assignment in which you were introduced to application activities. You may have seen them listed as extension activities, but I'm in the process of renaming them to application activities. It's a more accurate description of what you're really doing. You're applying your knowledge, okay? So in the application activity question, and in all application activity questions, because almost every programming practice assignment in this course has an application activity question. So in those questions, you'll be asked to complete a set of tasks without the aid of a step-by-step instructions, without any step-by-step instructions or any kind of visual guide, okay? So these questions require that you think critically and you apply the concepts that you learned previously, either through the lessons readings or practiced in the programming assignment, or a combination of both, okay? So I want you to note all application tasks will have been addressed either in the lessons reading or in the practice activity itself. Okay, so if you have questions or you need guidance, look to the following supports. Okay, so 1, look back to your lessons readings. 2, look back to the questions listed in the programming practice and the step-by-step questions. Okay, and 3, look at your program, the program that you created in the programming practice. Okay. So when you've looked at all these resources, think critically about how you could mimic a given activity to complete the task, okay? So let's take an example here. So if you're asked to create a new variable and initialize it, look back to the step-by-step activity, the step-by-step question in the activity that had you declare and initialize variables. Okay, and then look at your program and see how you declared and initialized a variable there. Then use that information to declare and initialize a new variable for the application activity question. Okay, so remember, all skills necessary to complete the application activity questions, their tasks, they've all been previously addressed in the lesson, either in the reading or in the step-by-step questions of the programming practice. You're not being asked to complete any tasks that include concepts that have not already been addressed or taught. All right? Okay. So in talking about our programming practice activities and the application activities, each question of the programming practice specifies what type of modification documentation must be submitted, okay, to demonstrate that you've completed the task of that question. So each question has its own modification documentation requirements, okay? So these modification documentation requirements, I know that's a mouthful, here are some examples of what they might be. They might be your BlueJ program window screenshot. They might be a screenshot of your BlueJ output window with your program's output listed. They might be your program's text or the code copied from BlueJ, from the BlueJ programming window into the Schoology assignment page, or it may be any combination of these. Okay, so let's take a look. So BlueJ programming window screenshot, it'll look like this. BlueJ output windows screenshot, it'll look like this. So I'm not going to show you what the text or the code looks like because each looks different, right? But basically what you're going to do is you're going to copy your entire program listed in the BlueJ program window. You can use Control A. You can place your cursor anywhere in that window. Use Control A. It will highlight the entire text, and then you can copy it. And then you paste the entire program into the application activity question. It has a text editor, right? Where you can type stuff, you can paste stuff. You paste it there, and voila. You paste it there. You also you submit your output window there, and voila. Okay? So, as a general rule of thumb, sorry, I'll go back here. So be sure you read the submission requirements for each question and submit the documentation as instructed, okay? As a general rule of thumb, the application activity question requires you to submit your program text, the code, right, and a screenshot of the output. It's important that you understand I copy your code into my BlueJ, I compile it, and I run it. So if you send a screenshot of your BlueJ program window, I can't compile it, I can't run it, and therefore you're not going to get the points. It could be a healthy amount of points, so you're going to want to make sure that you submit what is required so that you get full credit, okay? So reattempts. Okay, so as I said, I don't award points for, say, an application activity if the program text wasn't submitted. Instead, what I do is I tell you, I provide you feedback that reminds you that you need to submit, something. In this instance, you needed to submit the program text. Okay? So the question is, how exactly do you resubmit an assignment? Okay, so many of you know, but this one is the programming practice activities are unique, so I want you to understand how we work with them. So what you'll do is you'll return to the programming practice assignment, right? You'll click the submit assignment button to reattempt the assignment, and then you only answer the questions that need to be readdressed. So if I sent you feedback and said, hey, I need the program text for your application activity for question 6, then you can skip all the way to question 6, copy your program text from BlueJ, paste it into Schoology, and submit it, okay? And then you submit the assignment. So what I then do is I merge your attempts into one assignment grade, okay? So just remember, you don't need to resubmit modification documentation for every question, just for the one that I specifically mentioned in my feedback. So let's say you had this calculate grade submission, and on the application activity question, you didn't submit the program text. Okay. So in the first attempt, you completed question 1 correctly, you completed question 2 correctly, you completed question 3 correctly, you completed question 4 correctly, and in question 5, you missed the programming text, okay? And I gave you feedback, hey, I need the programming text for you to get full credit for that question. So then you go back, you reattempt that programming practice, and you skip question 1, you skip question 2, you skip question 3, you skip question 4, and you get to question 5, which is that application activity. You paste your programming text there, and you click submit. And then, like I said, I merged that first attempt and the second attempt to be your final grade for that, okay? Okay, so then feedback. So a moment ago I mentioned feedback. I want to let you know that anytime I deduct points from a question in a programming practice activity, I'll provide you with feedback, okay? I don't just deduct points and then not tell you why. Okay, so each question includes a rubric, and I will include feedback in the rubric so that I can specify exactly what criteria of the rubric was not addressed, right? What was missing. In addition to that, if your submission needs to be resubmitted, I'll add a note in grade speed letting you know, okay, so that you can, or if there's a couple of things that need to be done, I'll add a note that says, please see your feedback in Schoology, something that directs you back there so that you know what you need to do, okay? I will be sending an email shortly that provides guidance for accessing feedback in Schoology. If you have any questions about accessing feedback, just let me know. Okay, the main method. One thing I want to address, and this goes to all of our programming practice activities and all application activities. So when completing the application activities of a programming assignment, you'll need to make modification to your program's main method, okay? I need to remind you, your program must only have one main method. We do not add a second main method. We don't add a second main method and call it something other than main, but that it looks exactly, has the same exact header as the main, except for calling it something different. We don't do that, okay? So any changes that we make to our program for whatever purpose, for the application activities, for whatever, we do it in the main method that we created in the step-by-step activities, okay? So we never ever have more than one main method in a program, okay? If you have more than one main method in a program, like let's say you made a second main method in your program and you did all your programming, your application activities in there, I'm not going to give you credit for it because it's not in the right place. It's not programmed correctly, okay? It needs to be in the one main method only. Any second main method needs to be deleted, all right? So with that, okay, so for the most part, I want to say you all did really well on the application activity and just in general in the calculate grade programming practice. You did well. It's the very first time you saw that kind of activity, so it's completely expected that there would be some hiccups. So what do we do when we have hiccups? It's no big deal. We address them, right? We notice them. Then what we do is so first we notice them, then we address them, right? What we're doing here, we correct them, and then we move forward, right? So then it all is behind us. Those little hiccups that are in the past. So then in regards to that, that's all I got to say about that. Do you have any questions about programming practice activities or the application activities? Let me know. I'm here to help in any way I can. With that, let's have a great week. Take care.